I'm like perfectly. But no, I need to find. I need to find a topic.
Ooh.
Oh yeah, of course, the usual. Is the NX announced yet topic? Which the answer will surprise you not.
Wait, are you creating clickbait inside the episode? Is that what you're doing, Beck?
That's kind of pathetic.
Like,
why is it clickbait? I'm just saying it's just a segment, and is the NX announced yet?
or the NX?
I would just say the NX, and then I will be just like, no.
Well, if you must know,
I don't.
We're already recording, so yeah.
No one cares.
What
As
a twist.
Okay, yeah, this is the end of the
Artrix,
episode.
we are always recording, as long as there are secret services.
Mhm.
We are always at war with Eurasia.
Always. So yeah, welcome to another episode that is highly retarded of Radio Rothingham, the least professional podcast on the entire internet. Not the
You
partial
meant
internet.
highly sophisticated.
It's highly sophisticated because we are the most retarded. I will be
Oh.
drawing Rarity. That looks
Hooray.
very classy in that classy outfit he was wearing during the last episode. And
Now
in the meantime,
that's very rare, retarded.
that is
What?
a very
That's
rare.
the outfit she was wearing in finale, or what?
No, it's not in the season finale.
Is it a see-through nightgown?
No, it's not a seat. Though I wouldn't mind, but no.
It's
not.
basically Titanic cosplay. Very
Yes.
appropriate to the episode.
Did Jack die? Jack, niet verrekken.
So yeah, we will be drawing Rarity while we discuss a wide variety of topics that may or may not be
Yeah,
interesting.
but speaking of Titanic and sinking ships, season 7 is confirmed.
Yep.
Officially.
That is something that happened very recently. Because
So is the
last
movie.
time, the movie was
Yeah.
already confirmed from 2017, but
Yes, but
apparently-
I had
Yeah,
to
I think
putting
it was
resources
like
on the show because of it.
I think it was like yesterday or even earlier today that
It
some
was-
staff actually said that season 7 is actually in the works.
Yep. So
They
yeah,
are
this-
going to use this baby until it no longer makes any money.
Well, it's just
Uh,
milking it by now.
Well,
to
it
be
didn't
honest.
stop The Simpsons.
Yes,
Well,
it's
the
And no
Simpsons
one-
is
are
about
still making
season
money,
25.
Obviously, because of the expenses that are tied to the movie, the 7th season will be just cardboard cutouts and Megan McCarthy doing all the characters.
well, maybe if they sort of regress to like a South Park style where the budget just becomes smaller until you get like literal cardboard.
I will let you finish, but I need to
And
stop
then
you
they
right
are going to
there.
hire artists
Referring
to-
to South Park as regressing is not the term I would use.
No,
Because I would
this-
think
this-
it would actually improve it.
You meant the
would-
art style.
Yeah.
I mean, South Park actually did go from cardboard cutouts to using CGI fairly early on. Apparently, there.
Yeah, cardboard cutouts.
Apparently, you remember that the trailer from for the South Park movie where they
Yeah.
were like,
No.
yeah, we're using the most advanced animation technology, and then it shows Cartman being just this two-dimensional figure.
Yes.
Well,
I mean, that's pretty much what George Lucas did in Star Wars 1. He was like, I'm using the most advanced digi technology we have. And then he showed Jar Jar Binks.
We have the technology.
But yeah, you do need 6,000 render farms just to render the majestic visage of Jar Jar Binks.
You also need 6,000 render farms to render the gigantic fat ass of Cartman.
That too. Well,
Yeah.
well, you do basically need to render entire planet. So
Oh, crap.
yeah. So that kind of does remind me of that episode of Rick and Morty where they're stuck in the simulation. You basically need 6,000 of those just to render one Cartman. And you need to put it on maximum settings. And then maybe
Cartman ground.
and then you may get like
Oh, crap.
6 frames
Boom.
per second. Yeah, Astra is currently playing Left 4 Dead Because
am.
in this version of the game, you have to go and save the Panboy from the Bowser. I mean, the zombies. So yeah, that's what Astra's doing. He's on an epic quest to save Panboy because in this day and age it's all about equality and gotta reverse the roles a bit. He's saving the damps. Is that damsel? Damps?
It's called a distressed dude.
Okay, distressed dude in distress. So, season 7 of that pony show. It's confirmed. And I honestly hope
Wow.
that after this season they're just gonna pull the plug.
They won't.
Very
They,
unlikely.
No, they
they
won't,
will
they won't.
milk it. They will milk it until people actually get something like, I don't know, until it's violated the Geneva Conventions or something. That's only possible.
They will make them until people still watch them.
Well, didn't they say back in 2013 that there was gonna be quote unquote 5 more years of pony? They did say that at one point. They were like, 5 more years.
No, they said at least 5 more
Oh,
years.
at least. So, well, that means that there's gonna be pony related stuff until 2018. So I guess there might even be an episode. Season 8, and after that, I guess they're gonna, evaluate whether they're actually going to continue or if they legitimately think, okay, you know what, we had a good run, let's end it.
I don't think so. It didn't.
Steam by now.
Yeah, it didn't.
Astra did say a thing, but I didn't hear it.
What? Oh yeah. You'd think that they'd be out of steam by now.
They kind of are. That's the point. So far, season 6 has been incredibly mediocre.
Very average.
Very average.
I have seen people that are like completely gushing over this season, like the most amazing thing ever since sliced bread, and ever since season 5.
Those people would gush over an image of Pinkie Pie's ass.
You are not wrong.
There are people that are legitimately into that sort of thing.
That's kind of part of the joke.
Yeah, that was kind of a funny but poor metaphor, because I honestly, don't know how they're going to keep this up and keep making it interesting, because I did hear some things about the finale and the finale for season 6, and it looks like something that came straight off fan fiction.
Well, what I heard
Like
is that,
everything since the season 3 finale.
Well, I'm not entirely.
I did actually enjoy the fight against Tyrek.
That was at least amusing. I'm not going to say it was the best thing since sliced bread, but
yeah.
What's the best thing since sliced bread?
It was amusing. It was a funny episode. It did
was.
amuse me, and that's ultimately what media is supposed to do. But I did like the season opener for season 5. It was actually when I was like, whoa, this show just got interesting again. It's also when Sunset, not Sunset, Starlight Glimmer.
Right.
These names are all the goddamn same. But Starlight Glimmer was actually kind of interesting. And now it's just sort of like a Diet Coke version of Starlight.
Yeah, basically at the start, Starlight was a pony version of Anita Sarkeesian. Don't let us beat around the bush. But then she got redeemed, and now she's just She went from a pretty menacing villain to a pretty mediocre supporting character.
But she's still 40-something that doesn't know what to do with her life.
Well, yeah, that's what they still have in common.
I don't think Anita is 40, I think like 30 or something.
I always thought she was in her late 20s, maybe early 30s.
She's like 2 years younger than me, so that's all you need to know. and I'm not exactly happy about this fact. Not that he's younger than me, but that he's roughly the same generation as me. She grew up on the same planet as me, and the same circumstances, and
she grew up. You grew up in Europe. She grew up in America.
Yeah, but that's still the same.
It already makes her 20% shittier than you.
America.
America.
I'm not entirely sure about that, and here's why. Because back in the 80s, America was actually awesome, and Europe was actually looking up to America as being the land where everything is amazing.
Nah.
And it is in my experience.
80s were a generally awesome decade for America.
Exactly.
And the 70s.
I mean, this was back when, you hear all these amazing stories from America about their excess and their splendor and like how everything is so much better than Europe. And generally speaking, it was true. Like in Europe, we were just kind of starting to get out of the post-war shittiness. And we're just starting to get
communists running this place.
Yeah, it would be different for you because yes, back in those days, Czechoslovakia was kind of communist. But in Western Europe, yeah, it was basically America is fucking awesome because there was still this global divide between the East and the West. And we basically looked up to the US like, yeah, the US is fucking awesome. Also, I now realize that I actually remember a time when the DDR existed. I just wasn't aware that it existed. But I was alive during that time. So yeah, I do kind of remember, them broadcasting the moment when the wall fell.
Oh shit.
And that was like, look, son, it's very important. But that was like, I don't fucking care. I'm a little kid. This is no importance to me. It's just boring.
Has no grasp of politics yet.
Nope. Well, the funny thing is that I did see a lot of, Russian on TV and whatnot, and I do remember trying to emulate, like, the Cyrillic alphabet, because I thought it looked funny. So yeah, in hindsight, I do realize...
Then you were arrested because you were a spy.
Yeah. That was like, why are you drawing Cyrillic letters? I was like, I'm a 6-year-old, and the letters look funny.
Are you a spy?
And then, I actually learned to write with real letters. So
the pyro is a spy.
License slander. So yeah. Speaking of the DDR, I did watch this video by some dude named Tian Kraut, and in a recent video he basically talked about some batshit crazy shit going on in Germany right now, and basically it comes down to this: the DDR isn't dead yet.
Yeah, it still exists as a mindset.
Yes, exactly.
Germans still identify themselves as East Germans.
It's all over the fucking place. Like apparently they're trying to do this thing where they're really trying to push the whole hate speech laws to the point where they're just brazenly admitting that it's all about thought control and that hate speech is nothing but basically it's like if you don't agree with social justice, it's hate speech. They're almost literally saying that.
Well, with Fräulein Merkel at the charge, it does not surprise me.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, Bakphoon, please, if you get the chance, vote for this whatever it is, that one party that wants to not be Merkel.
You mean the Nazis?
No. That's what they want you to believe. They're just a party that's like, what? Let's not do this thing that Merkel's doing. Let's do the other thing. I would even go as far as say, make Germany great again.
Yeah, and it's actually not quite that. They're actually the they're actually the party that the only party that was kind of questioning it in public what Merkel was doing, because while it is I think pretty much most people think it's good to like accept refugees, but not like in the scale that we did. And then like, of course, they did everything. They he didn't do anything for the German economy. They didn't work in Germany or anything, and they get better treated than unemployed people that work, for example, for 10 years, for 20 years, and then are unemployed. They get, for example, free phones and lots of free things, and they didn't need to do anything. And they, of course, behave like the kings. And meanwhile, like unemployed people, yeah. So of course, those people feel very, very, very betrayed. Even working people feel betrayed.
I think the biggest problem, one of the biggest issues with the whole crisis right now, I mean, yes, most people think that, taking in refugees should be treated as like a charity. I mean, it is, after all, you're like, okay, we are a wealthy nation, we can, take a hit. But right now, it's not really treated as a charity, but more like some sort of duty to take in as many as you can.
Well, that's the perception that they want to have you, that it's a duty. Actually, it's more about if you actually listen to, for example, like economy experts and the high ups of the bigger economies, that it's a chance for new jobs, because that's it's they have opportunity for new job. You will offer them jobs, but because why, people that come from abroad, that come from places like the Middle East, like from they are cheap workers. So there might be some engineers over there. They will, of course, work for way less than a German engineer would do. That's kind of the point.
So basically, they took our jobs!
That's kind of, well, it didn't happen quite yet, but that's kind of the plan with those people. That's kind of the plan, because this way you can kind of create some even more competition in the job market.
Yep.
Because it isn't already paid enough, but they just do it to push the prices of workers even further.
Yeah, and that's why people rising.
Slaves.
Well, yeah, it is a very it's a very the big corporations do have a big incentive to support this kind of thing, which might also be the reason why you had the thing with Brexit, why you see a lot of corporations supporting remaining, because it's basically to keep the status quo of easy.
Basically, keep the common man poor, and widen the gap between people.
So yeah, we should not be surprised that people are like, no, we don't like this at all, and then they're surprised.
They're like, we ain't having that shit.
Well,
I mean, there are two sides. I'm not a British person, so I don't have any real expertise in it. It's just like you guys with the German crisis, because there's way more to it, and this is like the biggest reason why people are so upset. No, it's not the fact, even for you might believe it, but it's not the fact that we are actually letting a lot of people in. It's more the consequences of letting a lot of foreign people in.
Well,
do you want Stalin? Because this is how you get Stalin.
Wow.
What's the Russia?
Dude, you guys let in like well over a million.
Yeah.
Well over a million refugees. Geez, in a country that's like what, 88 million? That's
just
massive.
80 million.
Oh,
Just
80
say
million.
Still, I pity you with all of my heart.
That is a ridiculously large amount of people.
But statistics. You know that economists who are, as all the people high up, very out of touch people. That the economists are shit scared of statistics, because you have all these people in productive age, and one day they are going to be too old to work, and they are going to be in pension, and then you'll have the new generations, the younger ones, that will have to support those old people. Except there's a downturn on new people, basically, and that means that there will be too many old people, and the younger generation won't be able to support them all, which the economists are totally scared of, because that will decrease their numbers and there will be less money and stuff. So somebody had the nice idea to import some people, because after all, people are just a commodity, right?
Mhm.
And yeah, now we have 1 million more working people, except somebody forgot to explain to the refugees what a job is.
Mhm.
Well, they basically promised the refugees that they will get everything for free when they come. So of course they don't want to work.
Yeah.
No, that's not the thing.
That's a kind of
They didn't
dissonance.
promise. That's also a misconception. Our state didn't promise the refugees anything. The refugees are getting in because they get told by other people, like especially about those people that make a business out of.
Yes.
How do you say, out of transferring refugees,
Mhm.
like on the ships and everything, and on trucks.
When
Those are the
basically-
people that tell them like those sweet lies.
Yeah,
Sweet.
obviously, it's the rich West. You can get anything you want as long as you
Actually,
pretend you
what
are.
I've heard- From what I've heard, it's mostly Turkish and Ukrainian truck drivers.
Yeah.
No, not the rich West.
Wait, what? No.
That those human traffickers who bring
Oh, yeah,
them
of course. No.
Ukrainian.
I was saying what a human trafficker would say, that he's gonna take you to the rich West. You don't have to do anything as long as you pretend you are a poor, war-stricken person.
Uh-huh.
Just pull them on their heartstrings and they'll give
Yeah.
you everything.
And then they are in Germany, and somebody's like, wait, you are not going to work? Why do we have you here?
But yeah, it's
But,
also
but
obvious.
it's too late.
Yeah. Also, the obvious problem with this whole approach of, you know what? Let's just import a shit ton of people. Let's put the job market under even more pressure, and that's gonna be peachy. But what they don't realize is that by importing this foreign culture that in a lot of ways is not compatible with modern Western society,
And they don't want to work.
Mhm. Which also doesn't really feel inclined to really contribute to this Western society. Yeah, you're not exactly getting this utopian, this awesome new influx of workers that's gonna be awesome. It's not.
Basically, just an influx of more unemployed.
Exactly.
Are unemployed out of their
It
free.
backfired in a spectacular way, if I don't count the crime and rapes and stuff. Just the intent and the result. The sheer dissonance of those is just something.
Yeah, the biggest thing being like, how do you say, on New Year's Eve of 2016.
Yeah.
Like the biggest event, because like they needed a few months, but then suddenly it came out that there are a lot of harassment, actual harassment, not just the
Tumblr
my name is
reference.
I'm humongous, but actual harassment. And then they actually reported 1,000 cases of harassment, and of course, they tried to hide it, to sweep it under the rug at first, but now it's all coming out because some people just stick into the truth.
Because some people are basically just savages. No matter how much political correctness you pile on top.
Savages, barely even human.
Savages.
Moon man, can't you see?
So yeah, now you have the entire political establishment basically trying to just declare all wrongthink as hate speech, and
I wish they make it even worse. People will rebel eventually.
Yes.
Well, they kind of are. There are quite a lot of demonstrations
Yes,
regularly.
they are
But
rambling.
of course, it's not in the media. But the biggest thing is like if you look at the election results and like in our states, Germany or Bundesländer, you actually see that this one party that was questioning this all is getting a lot of support, and actually,
For some reason.
I think in Berlin like the biggest party together couldn't get 50%, so they couldn't like reign, because usually they made this thing called Big Coalition, which is I think since 2005, and
Yeah,
now
and they're like, don't matter this political party won. We're just going to join with the other party that lost, and we'll rule.
Except, can you do that? If a party, if one
Actually,
single...
that happens very often over here in Slovakia.
Yeah, here too.
Well, I guess it kind of depends on your political system, but
It basically depends on how many seats you have in the parliament. So if a very large number of parties with small number of seats get together, then together they have more seats than a single party with many seats, and thus they get to rule.
Which usually ends up being more than 50%, as opposed to like 35 or 40
exactly.
of the party that won. It's fun. It's like, okay, you won, but we don't like you, and even though we don't like the other parties, they don't like you either. So we are going to join.
It's kind of like ever since 2005, because like or more or more democratic party, like the slightly more left one, actually split up, because the more left wing split up into its own party that gets around 10% usually, and now of course what's left is just more of the center, and basically the center can get well along with our conservative party. So basically, ever since 2005, they make a big coalition.
So you're saying that what's left of the left after the left is the center?
Exactly. That's what happened, and because the left, and now we have Now we have also some right that left the right, because conservatives are more on the right.
Yeah.
We are currently run by the ultimate unholy alliance of the Socialist Party, which is the strongest one at the moment, the freaking Nazi Party, because yes, Slovakia has one, and the Hungarian, not the Hungarian, but a Hungarian minority party. By the way, the Nazis...
Yes.
They based a lot of their political campaign around how much they hate the Hungarians, and now they formed a government with them.
Amazing.
And they are on
politics.
Yeah, the upcoming elections in a lot of major European countries are going
politics
to be very
makes strange bedfellows.
Yeah, you know what I liked about Merkel? She was like, it was a month ago or something. She was like, we made a mistake, and it was roughly in the time when the what was the word? Well, the estimates of how people would vote came in, and it turned out that nobody would vote for Merkel again. She's like, oh, we made a mistake.
Yeah,
so later she qualified, and she said if she could go back in time,
she would fight better.
She would prepare Germany for the influx of the refugees. Not that she would like invite less of them. No, she would prepare Germany better.
But she also said that she is going to continue in the direction she's going now. So yeah.
Yeah.
Well, she's already on her way to hell. So why not?
Well, she really
nothing she can do now will change the fact that people don't vote for her.
Well, yeah, but now she's trying to pull the entirety of Europe down with her.
Oh shit!
And
Hillary gets elected.
Talking about Europe, did you know that Brussels noticed that there's been an increase of anti-Muslim hate speech in UK's newspaper?
Are you talking about one video clip where they were like, here you can see the hate speech as it happens, and then we have
I'm not sure about a video clip, but there's been an article, and basically Brussels said that there's been just too much damn hate speech in British media, and then that the British should, and I quote what's in the article, should not report when terrorists are Muslims.
That's fucking retarded.
Of course it is. You know,
Well, if they don't report that terrorists are Muslims, then there's no hate speech against Muslims.
especially since
Honestly,
we live on a
aren't
planet.
Muslim and terrorist basically synonymous at this point anyway?
Well,
To be fair, there are terrorist acts carried out by other groups, but
I wonder how the hate speech in British media by reporting the reality could have increased. How is it possible? It's almost like if there was a terrorist attack a day during the summer.
And
also, considering that we live in a planet now where, it's apparently completely acceptable to constantly bitch and moan about them white
Awkward
cis
silence.
men. Oh no, it must have been white cis men. And we need to do something about this. Oh, what's this? Hundreds of women are being raped by these
so
other
what terrorist attack?
unspecified people. Well, you don't mention that. We're just gonna downplay that. That's not important. But
Yeah. Well, that's what German media do. Like, somebody gets raped, and it happens to not be an immigrant, and it's like it was a German citizen
it was
who
a
did
German
the
citizen.
raping. Those vile Germans.
They
Yeah, that's why
conveniently leave out
guilt taken to 9,000.
Mm.
Okay, Astra, you're white cis het
But
white
honestly, it
woman,
seems
right?
to me like
That's right,
the
yes.
Germans,
Yeah. Okay,
it seems
okay.
to me like the
Shut up, a
Germans
woman is
have some
speaking.
sort of
Well, I
Oh,
was
okay.
speaking and he was, so technically you took him here.
Okay.
Calling him a woman.
Hmm?
Yeah.
Okay, anyway.
Woman.
Astra,
Woman. Hello.
do you feel particularly threatened by the presence of white cishet men on this planet?
Yes, I'm always threatened. I feel scared, triggered constantly.
Mhm.
I will just looking at me eyes, looking at me, raping your eyes, raping me with your eyes, kind of thing.
Oh no. But what if I'm a trans the ethnic person? Today I decided to be Asian. That's my ethnicity now. Would that make it okay?
Maybe.
Am I not threatening now? Okay, you obviously are triggered right now.
Yeah, I'm triggered all
Yep.
the time, constantly.
All the echo.
And now I can hear myself.
I noticed actually by saying the thing about the Asian, you reminded me of something. When the media can't say it was a German citizen,
Mhm.
they are going to say like it was an Asian.
Yeah.
Syria technically is in Asia, so
Well, funny that you mentioned
That's
that
just
because
mean.
apparently
So very mean.
apparently there are social justice warriors out there that actually think it's a good idea to go ahead and start levying like a tax on well, not a straight up tax, but like a tax relief for black people because of reparations for slavery. And they would so
that's almost like that increase women's wages or decrease men's wages thing.
well, basically
Well, we won't because it's fucking illegal.
that too. And this argument was like, yeah, so it's not an extra tax on white people and Asians and Latinos. It's the blacks just get like a tax break. And I'm like, no, that's a tax that you're taxing the other. When someone else is paying tax and the other person is not. Oh,
It's
God.
ridiculous.
Alex, obviously you don't understand America.
America.
Okay, how do I not understand America?
Well, if you live in America, then
Yes.
then you would know that black people universally throughout the history, forever, were slaves, never differently.
Because Ethiopia
Well,
doesn't exist.
Exactly. Not even Egypt. Basically, even back in the time when people were still monkeys and just came down from the trees, there were white people who enslaved them.
Mm. No,
Yeah.
that's obviously a lie. That definitely
Obviously,
been
yes.
white
And
slaves ever.
And second thing that you would know when you would live in America is that the people today, especially the white people, actually the black people too, are the same people who lived 200 years ago and had slaves or were slaves. It's still the same people.
Mm.
So obviously they have the right to reparations because they personally were slaves.
I
Yeah.
guess I was a slave at one point. So do I get reparations?
You are not black.
So-
You were never slave.
No, the Spanish, they conquered the Netherlands. So did the French. You know what? I'm going to go down to France and I'm going to demand all my money back. I
And the
want my.
Hungarians were super shitty to us Slovakians. They should pay us. Oh wait, they already did.
Well, you might as well go ahead and ask
Ex-
Czech
except
Republic
that-
for reparations because no.
You should ask the
This
Roman
is-
Empire for reparations.
Yeah.
Are you at it?
I'm going down to Rome right now and I'm gonna be like, yo, pay me reparations.
Yo, 2,000 years ago, you've enslaved me. I want reparations.
Yes. I mean, Rotterdam didn't even exist yet, but I want reparations.
How did I think about it? Yes, Slovaks did in fact get reparations from the Hungarians for how shitty they were to us, only that we took it from the Hungarians against their will, and they are still very angry about it. Basically, after World War II ended, Slovakia, well, then Czechoslovakia declared, well, Hungarians were Nazis, they were bad to us, and so we have right to confiscate all of their property. So basically, everything Hungarian that was at that point on our territory, whether it was private property, company property, or everything else, was taken legally away from the Hungarian
And
and
that's
used as reparations.
that's the exact same thing the Czech part of Czechoslovakia did with the
German.
Sudetenland Germans.
Yeah, and they are also still angry about it.
Obviously, I mean that part, like the several dozens of kilometers near the borders, were always a point of contention because there was a time when it was the same state under some kings.
Thanks.
So people just kind of mingled, and then Austria came into the picture, and it all got really complicated.
Yeah. Austrians are basically the Germans nobody wanted. Because, well, to be exact, when the Germans became Protestants, the Austrians were, no, we are still Catholic. That's why Austria is a different nation from Germany.
That's not quite how it works.
Oh my
Also,
god.
also Austria had a tradition of the nobleman families. They were actually, a lot of them were emperors of the Holy Roman Empire, and Germany is basically not a continuation. There were a lot of city-states back in the day, but the modern Germany is basically the result of Prussia.
Yeah.
And we all know.
So at some point they were like, okay, we are united now, and we need a ruler. What about the Prussian king? And then the Prussian king was like, you are our plebs. I'm not going to use this crown made of shit. And then he didn't.
And then
then Prussia in a nice turn of events stopped existing. That's Germany.
They became the Weimar Republic, right? Or was that even later?
That was even later.
Okay.
Yeah.
My Russian
That was
history
as far I know, this was after the First World War.
Oh yeah, that is true. Because after the war,
yeah.
they were like Germany, and Germany's like was, and they were like, yeah, you're not allowed to have monarchies anymore.
You are not allowed to have monarchy. You are not allowed to have infrastructure, and you are not allowed to have industry. Also, give us all your money and more.
And then they were like scheisse. And then then this one guy got kind of very pissed, and
he was like, I will build a wall. I mean, I will build roads. And then he built roads.
And here's the plot twist: this guy was Austrian.
Yes.
So basically, Austria managed to start 2 world wars, and Germany got the blame for it.
As always,
Wow.
as they say, blame Whitey for your crimes.
Well, to be fair, the First World War started because Germany at that point was already stronger than Austria. And we're like, hey, there's Serbia for you, take it. And the Austrians were like, we don't have the power for this. We don't even have soldiers after the last war. Like, well, take it whenever. And then it was 20 years, and the German was like, hey, take it. So the Austria got bullied into taking Serbia, and hey, you know what
No,
happened.
that's not how it happened. Germany only said, we are standing behind you, and whatever you do, we will support you. So they were like, oh. And that's why they did it, because after they killed the current emperor, Franz Ferdinand, that's when shit went down. Because then Germany assured them, whatever you do, we will help you. And yeah, that's how
Also-
we got.
Yeah, but there was a reason I think when it's waited like how much was it? 14, 20 years? They waited a time, and in the meantime, the countries that were supposed to get annexed
Okay.
to Austria was like, well, we don't really want to wait to get annexed, and then they killed the guy, and that was it.
Also, Emperor Franz Ferdinand, or rather his wife, who may have had good intentions, but whatever, are the reasons why the Hungarians almost wiped us out. Because at one point, the entirety of the Austrian Empire was under one rule, imperial, but then the emperor's wife, Sisi, as most of the world knows her, was very sympathetic towards the Hungarian nationalists.
Yeah.
She convinced her husband to give Hungary autonomy within the Austrian Empire. So he gave it to the Hungarian nationalists. And the first thing they did is bad time, and by bad I mean ethnic, and by time I mean cleansing. And we were the first in line
But
Wow.
wait, there's more.
to them.
The Sisi was actually hailing from Bohemia,
Huh.
and Ferdinand himself was very sympathetic to the Czech cause. So if they didn't shoot him, they would probably be Austria, Hungary, Bohemia, maybe. Then they shot him, and we were like, okay, why should we fight for Austria? We better desert and join the Russians.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's spawned this discussion again?
European Union.
Oh yeah, it's always
Because-
the European Union.
No, I wanted to add one more thing. Like,
go ahead.
why should European Union be banning the British media from hate speech? Why should be European Union banning anything? It's a trade agreement. Come on.
Also,
Yeah.
why do they still care? I mean, the English or the British are gonna leave anyway. They're already
Yeah.
all the way over
Yeah,
at,
yeah.
at
So
the
that's
Australia.
what drives them insane. That's what drives them insane. They no longer have any say in it.
Yep.
So they're trying to have some last minute, you know,
Uh-huh. Yeah.
some last minute little, gonna push a little bit of
Basically,
authoritarian
just a hissy
shit.
fit.
Before Great Britain finally sails off and becomes its own little Great Britain somewhere in the Atlantic.
Yeah.
Also, I was going to touch on the following retarded and stupid subject that's also related to the European Union, and that's to do with the
Okay.
Netherlands and their amazing.
Show me on this map where European Union touched you.
It touched me on in the wallet because it touched me in the wallet and my government because some people in my government are like, you know what, let's give every person of 18 years of older, no, just 18 years. So if you're 18, you basically get like a travel card that allows you to travel all across Europe using the train. And the
Right.
basic idea is to make kids more European.
Ugh.
They're like, hey, here's a free train ticket so we can go all across Europe and explore
Well,
the splendor that is the European continent.
Well, you are Netherlands. It makes
Well,
sense for you because
now not
it's
in
like
the European Union.
it's like 20 meters in any direction to Europe from you, so it kind of
Yeah,
makes
that's
sense.
true.
But hey, they are welcome to come here anytime. At least they won't grow up to be as worthless.
But here's the thing.
What life is like.
Here's the thing. So they're seriously discussing the plan to give every person of 18 years old like this 200 euro trinket. That's money that's being spent from the taxpayer, and I'm like, why? Why?
And
are
why
you-
only 18-year-olds?
Yes. Like this is such a stupid, retarded. Like,
I mean,
let's just throw away some money and to make us feel better.
Well, that's the entire definition of social justice.
It's not
it's
even-
kind
it's not
of useful. Like Artrix 18 is the best time to travel to Germany and get converted to Islam. Come on.
This is something you need to do. You need to be specifically 18 years old to do that. I'm pretty
Obviously.
sure
Well, you need to be of legal age. Yeah.
I'm pretty sure you can become Islam's at any moment in your life. Like when you're 5 years old,
Yeah,
you're
but
like,
but
you know,
No.
but Artrix 18 is the legal age, and it's the time when you're still pretty impressionable.
Mhm.
Yeah.
That's very true. But then again, I'm pretty sure that if you're like 16 and you really want to join ISIS, then you can.
No, okay.
Well, yeah, nobody is going
Why?
to stop you.
Do they really care? if you go down to ISIS and go fight and you're like 16, I don't think they're gonna care that you're 16.
Like 16, too old. Get out of here.
Especially when you're female. They probably don't.
Yeah, that's
won't
like 10
mind.
years too late.
Yeah, you're already too old. What? I'm in the prime of my youth. I'm like the most fertile thing on the planet. I want to make all the ISIS babies, and they're like, no, too old. Our ISIS women can, they should be at most, okay, 14. Okay, I'm pushing it. 50, maybe 50, but 16. 16 GTFO.
Seriously.
Seriously.
The hell are you talking about?
They have to
Why
honor,
would they care about women? They have their goats.
they have to honor what the Prophet Muhammad did, and he was known for having sex with 6-year-old girls. So yeah,
And obviously you gotta emulate
exactly.
whatever is written in the books. It's
Yeah.
written here, I guess.
So I did some research,
Oh
and
God.
and I found out that all the Muslims that are doing the attacks are actually against Quran,
Why?
because in the age of Prophet Muhammad there were no guns and no explosives.
So, but does it explicitly forbid someone to use any but a specific method of killing someone?
Oh,
Is
guns
it
are
like-
not in Quran. That means they are haram.
Oh.
It's not in Quran, Artrix. Come on.
You should
So
know
if
this
so-
shit.
Yeah.
If something is not in the Quran, it's
To be
automatically
fair,
haram.
I do remember that with some more extreme Christians in the past centuries who were strictly against any sort of scientific research, they still said that weapons research is okay because it helps them spreading the faith. I think it was about gunpowder, yes. Gunpowder.
Quote
was
unquote.
okay.
That's interesting because there was the one time when Pope banned crossbows.
Because there were crosses.
No.
Oh,
Because
wow.
they were easy to operate. You just point and shoot. And it just happened that the peasants just took a crossbow and pointed vaguely in the direction of a knight at a horse and shot, and then the knight fell off the horse, and that was the end for him. So the Pope was like, no, we are losing. Let's ban this.
Are you saying that the Pope was a Tory fag? is like swords only. Swords only, field, swords
Final
only, no item, field only. You're not allowed to fight.
Top kick.
Yeah, but basically,
You're not allowed to fight in the forest. You're not allowed to use any items, and except
yeah,
for sword.
if Geneva Convention happened back then, the crossbows would be banned.
Yeah, they're too fucking easy.
Yep.
For you.
Dum, dum, dum.
That actually,
Easy on the eyes.
this actually reminds me. Do you know how back in the days of Napoleon, they had that weird strategy where all troopers would just stand in line
Yes.
and shoot at each other? That was not because they were stupid. That was a sort of gentleman's agreement. Because if they actually duck and cover, the whole fight would last too long.
Yeah.
Basically, the entire war would last much longer and waste a lot more resources. So they basically just told the soldiers to stand in lines, not move, and shoot each other.
Yeah, this is the holy way of fighting.
Because that way they will kill each other faster and the war will end sooner.
It's fair fight, but like, why would you hinder the enemy soldiers' chance to shoot you? Oh, they kind of did, because after you fired, you were supposed to kneel and reload, so the people behind you could shoot.
Yeah.
So you basically take turns shooting the shit out of the enemy.
Well, it took like 45 seconds to load that gun if you were good at it. So yeah.
These times you have guns that shoot like 1 trillion bullets every minute or something. You just sort of have to aim in. You literally have to aim in the general direction of your target. Like with a crossbow,
However,
that was. Oh god.
However, those firearms were actually very inaccurate,
Yeah.
and so most of the shots actually didn't hit the target you were aiming at.
That's why they were in a line, so it could hit something.
Also, thanks to the Mythbusters, we know that you can actually mow down a tree using a minigun.
Yeah.
That's
But
valuable.
That is a very valuable use of,
Yeah.
that's totally what they're designed
Well,
for.
muskets were very long, and you kind of could shoot with them at a long range, but you wouldn't hit anything. And that's why I prefer I don't know what's the English pronunciation, the arquebus, which was basically a medieval shotgun, and riders used it. So you were on a horse, and you had guys.
I think in English it's called the blunderbuss.
Oh,
Blunderbuss.
kind of a general term. Whatever. And yeah. It was a short, stocky gun, and you loaded it with shit, and then you hit guys in front of you, and were maybe advancing at you or running away. So you just rode on a horse to them and shot them in the face, and all of them were dead. That was a good gun. Of course, they usually had spears or something, so you didn't hold on the horse for very long. Also, it was pretty difficult to reload if I went on a horse. It was mostly one shot, throw it away, ideal at some guy, and then use a sword.
Also, apparently, according to Lineage, it's really retarded to use a horse in ye olden times, or
Yes,
even in
it
modern
is.
times, because you're like on this thing that can die, and you can't do shit on a horse.
It can die and can fall on you, and then you die even easier
Or-
than usual.
Yeah, like
Well, it's what they did in the First World War. They were like, okay, there's a war. What do we
Yeah.
do in the war? Horses and swords. What is this? Guns? We have guns now and tanks.
tanks and turrets,
Actually,
and then they were like, that can't possibly war. Everybody
it's just
died,
a-
and yeah,
it's just a phase.
yeah,
Well,
it's just a phase. And then the First World War didn't end in a week, and it didn't end in 2 weeks, and it didn't end on Christmas, and it didn't end for another 4 years.
And all this time, Netherlands was just chilling and not giving a shit.
And then you got occupied.
No,
Top kick.
no, we legit didn't. during the First World War, we were like, no, we're not gonna get involved.
Original or the Great War? Oh,
Yes.
right.
Yeah.
Oh, but
I
okay.
mean, we kind of tried to do the same thing for World War II. That didn't work out for us. But in the First World War, it worked out splendidly. We were even making some mad cash, just supplying goods to both parties. It was pretty cool. But
Wow,
we even built a Great Wall of the Netherlands. I'm not kidding. We built a wall to keep the Belgians out.
Well, we built an electric fence to keep the Syrians out.
Yeah, basically that's what we did. It was electric fence, and apparently about 100 people died trying to cross. It was pretty brutal, even for something invented by the Dutch. It was like you go there, you think, sweet, I'm going to cross the fence, it's gonna be awesome.
Well, what you Dutch people do now is build walls to keep out the water.
Yep.
Yeah, they decided to expand into the sea instead of into the people.
Well, we kind of ran out of enemies to fight, so it used to be water, but
The sea is the only thing that keeps Netherlands in check.
Yep. I mean, if just read that XKCD comic.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
If it wasn't for the sea, the Netherlands would just conquer everything. The entire universe would be the Netherlands. But you guys should be lucky that there is a sea constantly keeping us at bay.
Because otherwise, the whole world would be weed, YOLO.
Yeah,
Well,
everybody would be Yankee.
It is funny though, because that used to be kind of the case. Like, the Netherlands used to be the only place where you could really get, weed and shit. But we're kind of, we're not as great as anymore. We're actually America's actually being more tolerant towards.
You forgot to secure the market.
Well, there are currently plans, or there's this thing going around where we're like, you know what? Let's legalize the production of weed, which is basically what keeps the.
Fuck tulips. Let's go weed.
How about both? What if I
Weed
told
tulips.
you? Yes. What if I told you you can grow weed and tulips and a combination thereof? It'll be.
They look nice in a vase, and you can smoke them.
Exactly. Like you can put them in a vase and you just let them sit there. You just get high randomly. There's also like this exciting.
Cause I was high. Do.
So there's also an exciting random element to it. Like, will I get high today? Maybe.
I was about to conquer Europe, but then I get high.
Well, being high is much better than conquering the entirety of Europe. Because
I was
if you actually manage that,
I got high.
when you actually manage to conquer all of Europe, you have to rule it all, and that's hard work.
You got them, Yankees.
Germany's of nervous guy kind of trying to do it, and she's having such a bad time trying to do it. She's like, yeah, I'm going to tell the entirety of Europe what to do, and the entirety of Europe is like, no. And it's like,
wasn't New York like called New Amsterdam at some point?
Yes,
at some point.
Then we sold it too.
And the word Yankee actually does originate from a name for Dutch.
New York used to be a Dutch colony.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah, it was New Amsterdam after all. Artrix.
It was part of New Amsterdam, as New Netherlands, as you called it. Yeah, go ahead.
Artrix.
Yes.
Say cheese in Netherlandish.
Kaas.
Exactly. And what's one of the common names in Dutchland? Jan. Yeah, exactly that.
Jan Kaas. Oh,
exactly. That's the origin of the word.
I learned something today.
You learned something about the Netherlands from a Dutch, from a Czech person.
Basically, Yankees mean the guys with the cheese.
Jan Kaas.
Top kick.
Those goddamn Jan Kaases.
Stop yanking your ass.
Top kick. No, Überkick.
Uberkeks.
Yeah.
Okay, you got to do this now, Beck. I want to see a German. Like I want to go to a German supermarket and find a box of cookies that's called Uberkeks.
Oh no!
Der Überkeks.
Ah.
No, just as there's a Dickman's. You can
Yeah,
unironic-
it is actually an actual product, Dickman. Dickman.
And it's chocolate. It's chocolate, so it's very, very brown. And vaguely, only vaguely phallic.
Well, we used to call it Negerkuss.
Yeah, I remember
which
that.
is, yeah, you can. I'm pretty sure you can kinda assume
Oh, wow.
what it
It had a nice picture of some stereotypical caricatures of black people on the box.
Well, not really caricatures. It's basically a picture of African royalty.
Yeah.
Oh, you know what it reminds me of? It's Sinterklaas season, and we know what that means.
Little
No one
midgets.
knows what that means.
It means
Basically, we're
little
gonna
midgets that are dressed up as gollywogs, I think.
No.
no,
Basically,
that's
what we're
not something
gonna
I-
have is another season of people bitching and moaning that Sinterklaas is sexist because his helpers have blackface.
Oh,
Isn't it too,
blackface.
isn't it too
right.
early for Sinterklaas?
Sinterklaas is in early December, but it usually
Yeah.
kind of starts in like October.
So
That's
it's
usually
your
when-
version of Halloween, like
Kinda.
quarter a year in advance.
But yeah, the discussion's already starting to flare up, and there's gonna be people that are, pro changing the holiday to be more, quote, inclusive, and there's gonna be the people that are gonna be like, no, let's keep it the way it is, and it's the same shit show every goddamn year.
And when you thought there's finally a country that has a tradition that accepts that there are black people in the Middle Ages everywhere.
Also,
That's
it's
the
a-
most depressing part of it.
it's not
Well,
even the
Sekele, you know that like 70% of Slovakia and Czech Republic is black.
true facts.
Yeah,
Uh,
and that's why Kingdom
Well,
Come is racist, because it is only white people. I had to mention that.
but honestly, we have our own blackface as well. Three Kings.
It's apparently very common throughout Europe because there's this thing in the UK where there's this village where people do like these folklore dance thingies. They're like dancing
That's
and
terrible.
they're dressed up. And one of these traditions is including blackface. The first time I saw this clip, I didn't even notice it. It was like, okay, these people are dressed completely black. They have like these feathers on them and whatnot, and then you have this cultural Marxist like, yeah, this is blackface, and then I had a look and was like, oh, now I noticed the blackface. So
Not that you told me.
what's your point exactly? Like I didn't even goddamn notice. So what? No, this is offensive.
No, they are all insane.
No, this is
now that-
offensive.
now-
It
now
needs
that-
to
now that you-
change. Go ahead.
Not that you told me what I'm supposed to see, I see it. That's how it works.
It's weird.
So yeah, obviously I was not very impressed. I was like,
Wasn't there like a South Park episode about exactly the same topic? Or similar, like the town flag was, because there was like a black guy getting hanged, and that was the thing that people got upset. Meanwhile, the kids thought it was because a person gets hanged in the picture, which I would understand. Like it's a person getting hanged, and then like the kids
That's
were
not nice.
yeah. No, they're like it's just a person getting hanged, and they didn't even notice that it was a black person.
Yeah, because unlike everyone else, they were sane.
No, that's often the case in South Park. You have all these adults being batshit crazy, and then the kids with their more or less unaltered minds are like, no, that doesn't make sense. You guys are being idiots.
Mm.
Has anyone actually seen the new South Park?
No,
Not
I
yet.
haven't.
I haven't even seen the old South Parks.
Basically, it's about internet trolling, and it's actually
Very
Nice.
topical.
surprisingly intelligent and unbiased, and it makes fun of the stereotypes. Well, like an internet troll, and they say like, yeah, it's probably some lonely white guy living in his mother's basement, and it turns out to be a married Jewish man, a very rich man who does it as a hobby.
And he enjoys it and has fun.
Yeah, he's perfectly happy. He is rich. He has a wife and children, and he only trolls people because it's funny.
That isn't that the definition of a troll.
Yeah, they do it because it's funny.
Like, these people don't realize that the trolls are usually people that just want to get a rise out of people. They do it for your reaction, and by reacting, give them exactly what they want.
Yeah, that's the entire point.
So yeah.
So, Alex,
we need to show like South Park that. Oh god.
Did you say a reaction?
Yes, and I know what you're getting at.
I don't think you're supposed to react.
I'll go stir myself in. I mean, the Fine Brothers are going to sue me.
It's copyrighted.
Exactly. I'm sorry, but that's not gonna save my ass, now is it? They're gonna come and take all my everything.
I'm sorry, Artrix. You have already reacted.
Now I have to pay the fine. What's the fine? $1 trillion. But then I'm like, oh, that's like 250. I'm good.
No. 1 trillion British pounds. So like $5.
Oh, but that's like .0.0000000 infinity €1. So, round it down. That's 0. Well, I'm good. Oh god. that thing with the Fine Brawl is still fucking hilarious. Oh, I just remembered. Weren't we going to talk about this little thing that YouTube?
I don't.
Did you say you wanted to talk about YouTube Heroes and how retarded it is?
I think we already did.
Oh, we probably did. But I still think it's retarded.
A huge snitching program.
It's basically telling people to be a snitch, just like a good old DDR. Except that back then you got like a little badge.
Tricks. Then they would have to hire a lot of moderators, and they would have to pay them. This way they can just get idiots, and then once a year take them to a convention, and not all of them, just like 10.
I think we should all take a lesson from the Afro-American people, a very proud people, and follow their advice of snitches get stitches. Especially if they now all have badges. It worked for the Germans, it will work for us.
It works for the Russian mafia too, and government, and Hillary Clinton. Basically, it works for everybody.
Except for, I don't know.
Exactly.
I rest my case. Also, this drawing of Rarity is coming along nicely. She's one classy lady.
Would you say it's a rarity?
She's pretty rare. I don't think I've seen a lot of humanizations in this outfit yet. But yeah, this is one of my favorite modes of Rarity.
Rare edition.
Yeah, other than wearing a see-through nightgown, but that's the sexist and misogynistic.
That's fan service.
Yeah,
It's
And then no-
beautiful fan service.
Mhm. So that's why it's hate. Because I obviously want to kill her if I want that sort of thing. Right?
Yeah.
That's how it goes these days, right? I'm just trying to get with the times here. I'm just trying to get this thing right. With all this shit going on, I might as well join them, I guess.
I think you should shut down the stream so nobody can rape her with their eyes.
Mm.
Yeah, but then again, I wanna raise awareness, right?
The Bible says, if your eyes cause you to sin, pluck them out and throw them away.
Sounds reasonable.
Yeah, let's do it
Yeah.
right now.
Where's my knife?
Knife.com. That's right, we've got the best knives. No one's got the better knives than us. Except for Rarity. She's got better knives, but you can't have them.
They are designer knives.
Exactly.
Speaking
Anyways,
speaking of designer knives, there's a game that features a lot of knives, a knife economy. We call it Counter-Strike a Global Offensive. And
Segue.
It's like heads, but they are sharp.
yeah, but first off, a Washington authority told them to stop this gambling stuff. They mustn't allow people to get use of the API to use it for gambling. But secondly, because it seems that they noticed, a source of income is gone. So what they did is now they reintroduce sprays into Counter-Strike Global Offensive. But the catch is they cost money, and they are just limited. They are just limited use only. So you only have 50 uses of a spray, then you have to buy it.
It's endless knives on steroids.
Exactly. Except you need to buy.
Yeah, but except you can buy them. You don't gamble out for them, right?
Exactly. You just have a spray, and you need to, and you. But of course, just pre-select the sprays from what I can recall, and you just pay an amount of money. I don't know which amount exactly it is, but you get 50 uses out of it, and then it's used up or consumed because it's a consumable, and then it's gone.
Hate consumables.
Forever.
Buying consumables, it's like the second stage of cancer to the cancer of microtransactions.
Exactly.
Microtransactions are killing gaming.
Yes, this is true. Because, it's 2016 and games are no more games, they are services. Because 10 years ago somebody noticed that games can be used to make money.
And then if you don't agree, you're obviously a misogynist, so yeah.
Well, to be fair, it kind of...
It's time for games to grow up!
Well, it kind of works in the software industry. With software as a service, so basically you just rent the software and then...
Back. But that also it wasn't the case in the past.
Yeah, that's true, but...
It happened Alexander Games. It wasn't like this was always like this and games just followed.
I know, but it's sad because, there was a time when you could actually buy software.
Yes, there was a time
and
you
then
could go to the
you owned
store
it.
and buy Microsoft Office, and they gave you a disk, and then you could just install it whenever, and now you have to pay for it each year.
Exactly, that's
don't
like
understand.
why.
Well, to be fair, software's always kind of been like this, but it's very hard to enforce because when in ye olden times when you did buy software, so you went to the store, you bought software, got a disk, okay, but your license was for the software to be installed on only one computer.
Oh.
But yes, if you bought
One computer at a time.
That's the important distinction.
Yeah, that's the thing. One computer at a time. But the thing is, it's very hard or impossible to enforce it back in the 90s because, you're not gonna go to each and every user and check to see if they're only using it on one computer. Also, it's kind of illegal.
No, you can only check it with the people for the people with internet.
Yeah, but back in the early 90s, there was no.
What is the internet
Yes,
even?
exactly.
Yeah.
So
I think really companies noticed that it exists in the past like 8 years.
there are agencies that do make sure that companies have the proper software, but they typically only go after big corporations where they use a lot of software.
Where it makes a difference.
Where it actually makes a difference. So they were not targeting like the small
Like
user.
an example, in the building I work, there's a few offices, and the lady next door has a computer that still runs XP. It's from 2006 or something like that, and she needs it because of her. Basically, she needs the computer for two things: email and the old DOS accounting program that doesn't work in 7 by native. You have to install emulator. So she's okay with that. Of course, she has a virus every 3 months because XP, and and nothing in Explorer works. Well, it's a mess. But she had a crash the other day. It was the crypto virus. Everything blew up, and she saved only the emails because she had a backup of those. Whatever. So she needs a new Word Excel. She doesn't have a license. And then I was like, I could get you a pirated software, but I know how legal is it. And then the other repair guy comes in and he's like, oh yeah, I have a license somewhere around here. I'm just going to punch it in.
Or she
Because,
could use something like LibreOffice and be fine.
It's
You can.
I tried to get her on LibreOffice, but no, people who are used to Microsoft Office and are not really good with computers have difficulties. Just saving it in a different format was a thing I had to teach her, and she wasn't entirely sure she's gonna do it right. So no, he just popped Word 2000, Office 2003, and was like, okay.
I'm fairly sure
Microsoft doesn't even care about 2003 Office at this point.
I'm fairly sure you're allowed to use LibreOffice in a Office setting. I mean,
Oh yes, you are.
Yeah.
Obviously, you are because
you just
it's
don't
free.
have,
It's
but you don't
free,
have any-
but the problem is that the people can't use it.
exactly.
Just the arduous task of save as, click on the doc type and change it to the doc. That's very, very difficult Artrix for a normal user.
Yes. Also, normal users like, what LibreOffice? What is this? I don't understand.
It's probably a virus.
Yeah, it's probably
Just
a virus.
delete it.
It's like, you have old people, like people that are even older than baby boomers, and they're like, what's this Fox thing? Where's my internet? Where's the internet icon? I'm like, the Fox thing is your browser. Like, what? Where's my internet?
But that's not the internet. The internet is blue.
Yeah, it's blue. It's like an E. Where's the E? And then I'm like, fuck off. I'm not giving you text support anymore. Go away.
Just change the Mozilla icon to E.
I think my dad's only now kind of starting to understand the concept of using Firefox. It's probably because
Wow.
I convinced him that, hey, look, all these bookmarks are synced between Firefox and fucking smartphone, which is easy.
It's
and convenient.
awesome. You just have to sync one, and then you just have everything available.
But
The word sync is a very complicated word.
It is very convenient.
Well,
to just
But to be fair, the word sync on its own doesn't mean anything. It's just an abbreviation.
Yeah, and
I know.
also it can be confused for like the thing you put your dirty dishes in, or where you wash your.
Let that sink in.
Yeah.
That. The wonders of English, where one word can mean so many different things. Well, to be fair,
Actually,
that's
most languages have this.
Yes. I was going to say that a lot of languages have this retarded thing where, one word can mean 6,000 different things depending on the context.
Yeah, at least in the real languages, the words have the courtesy to usually have the same root, so it actually makes sense in all the context. So.
Yeah, it's not like the word sync comes from synchronize or something. That would be ridiculous.
Yeah. Synchronize is a very different word than sync
And sync.
and sing. Or sing, even.
Or sin.
That's no.
Or
It doesn't even
Sinus?
sound the same.
ah, that's true.
Sinuses.
So we started off the episode talking about NX. Let's end the episode talking about NX. How about MNX? We don't know
Yeah.
a goddamn thing about NX.
We still don't know what it is, but it's going to be good.
Yeah.
I don't know if it's gonna be good. With every single passing day, I have no fucking clue
Yeah.
what the NX is. Even if
I
it's
know
gonna
what
be
it
good.
is.
Oh.
Oh.
Okay. Xaverius, do the thing.
It's the Astra time with Astra.
There we go.
Now the
know-
NX,
oh.
the NX. You know what? The NX is a video game console.
Wow. I'm shocked.
I'm not even so sure about that.
No, it's pretty much confirmed that it's gonna be a console. We don't
Yeah,
just don't know what sort of console.
It might be also an handheld
gaming
or a hybrid.
console.
The
Yeah,
only
that
thing
would-
we know about the NX is that it's not announced yet.
It is. They did say that's gonna be dedicated hardware, but yeah, at this point we still don't know fucking.
It's
clue.
new. It's going to be dedicated. It's going to be great. What it is, we don't know.
No, but they did state that's gonna be a dedicated platform, so it's not gonna be like some sort of Steam-like thing where you just Steam Nintendo games. I just
A Nintendo game steamer.
You know, you take the Nintendo games, you just Steam them good.
Oh,
Half-Life 3 Nintendo Steam exclusive.
Now I want some cartridge stew.
It keeps the
There's a very strong indication that they are doing exactly that. That it's gonna be cartridge-based system, which
Oh, they-
may
they-
be
they-
very interesting development. Because the problem we see with a lot of games these days is that they're too fucking big, and they need to be copied to the hard drive because you can't really read them off optical media because optical media
That's
is.
like a
Oh,
pro-
Artrix, they did release the mini NES.
Mhm.
So
Well-
that's it.
Games are too big.
Yeah, so that they're like, okay, you all love the old games back when we didn't suck, right? Well, here's NES, except it's smaller, so you can
Well-
carry it with you.
To be fair, unless you're a pirate fag, it is a very good value considering that if you buy the
Artrix.
games on the virtual store, they would cost you like 200 quid, and this
Artrix.
fucker's like 60 quid.
Artrix.
Go ahead.
Back in today, everybody was pirate, and it was the NES cartridges pirating them. That was the best thing like ever. You actually had to go out and go to a shady store or a Vietnamese marketplace, and then you bought the knockoff cartridges, like 1,000 games in one, and it was just 5 games repeated over and over with different color schemes.
That is pretty shady. Yeah. But yeah, the mini console, it's a cute little trinket. It's only 60 quid. That's hardly, it's like a AAA game, but you get an entire console. It's a shitty little console, but the console nonetheless. It's pretty good value considering all the games you get for it. From what I
And
get,
hey, it's back from the days when games didn't suck.
exactly. So I would say the mini NES. I'm personally not gonna get it because I honestly don't care all that much. Like the games that I would be interested in buying, I would be better off just getting them on the virtual console. That would be cheaper than buying, this mini console. I mean, yeah, sure, I'll get 30 games, but if I only play like 2 of them, I might as well just buy 2 games on the virtual console. Also, before we forget, because like I said, we don't know a goddamn thing about NX and it's not really worth discussing at this
It's going to be good. That's what we know.
Well, it better be good if it's gonna get my money. But yeah. Sekele wanted to actually
Yeah.
rant about something.
Basically, Disney and Marvel are doing something incredibly stupid to the
Nice.
X-Men comics.
No.
So, if you don't know already, Disney produces pretty much all of Marvel's movies at the moment.
And
With
they're
the
basically
exception-
doing it at a rate at 60,000 per minute.
Yeah,
Yes.
With the
60,000 movies per year.
with the exception of the Fantastic Four and the X-Men.
Yes.
And those are with Fox. And
Fox.
here is the problem.
Powers.
Disney basically went to Marvel and told them that they should stop advertising movies they don't own.
Okay.
So basically, they ordered them to stop making Fantastic Four and X-Men comics because Disney can't make them as movies, and they believe that if they make comics, they keep advertising Fox movies.
Right. That
So,
almost
they're-
sound-
Just interesting.
Am I getting that they are threatening the owner of the franchise?
Well, because Disney owns Marvel.
Yeah,
Mhm.
but they don't own all the rights to all the franchises, right?
Yeah.
Like they own Marvel, but in turn they don't own like the X-Men, even though
Yeah.
it's a Marvel property.
Yeah, they basically own the comics, but they don't own the right to make the movies. And the
Yep.
movies are what makes the most money now.
Mhm.
So they already got rid of the Fantastic Four, which actually was done pretty tastefully. Basically, the Fantastic Four finally defeat all of their villains and decide that they have nothing left on Earth. So they get on a spaceship and fly off into space, never to be seen again, on a great journey.
They
Well,
probably went to have a beer with Galactus.
Well, yeah, basically they left. But with the X-Men, they have a problem because the
How do you leave X-Men?
because
There's like
the
70
X-Men
of them.
are not just one group of people. It's
Yeah.
an entire race, the
Exactly.
entire mutant race.
They
So
just- Yeah, there's several dozens of the heroes, not to mention the other mutants.
yeah, so basically what Marvel did, there is now a disease that's
Huh.
killing all the mutants. Nobody
Ah.
else is affected, only mutants. And
Top
mutants
kick.
are now dying, and they are confused. Yes, every single X-Men, every single mutant is going to die, and they will be gone forever.
So it's like the reverse Magneto.
Yeah.
It's
Only
just
that
stupid.
now it's the publisher themselves doing it. And that's especially ironic because recently Marvel started pandering, like heavily pandering to the SJWs.
Yep.
Which is pretty unfortunate, seeing how for decades the X-Men were a representation of every single oppressed minority. So now
It's kind of the theme.
they are now massively exterminating minorities.
Exterminate.
Minorities.
Exterminate!
Exterminate!
Delete.
Delete this!
And
Damn
the
it.
worst part is just how retarded all of this is. Because the comics have absolutely no effect on the sales of the movies.
Because
Marvel
Fox.
making X-Men comics will not make the Marvel movies produced by the X-Men movies produced by Fox sell any better or any worse. The
Well,
movies
I think it could actually make the movies sell better because Fox is just going to be like, okay, they killed our only competition of this series. Nice.
yeah,
And then if people want X-Men, they have to go to the movies because
yeah,
there's comics.
exactly. And the X-Men movies are already making money not because of the comics, but because they are decently written.
Oh
They
god.
might be hit or miss, but for the most part, they are competently written. And then there is another thing. Deadpool, the freaking internet icon, is considered part of the X-Men franchise.
Ah, right.
Deadpool technically is not a mutant. He's just a regular guy who got superpowers.
Well, the mutant part of him is the cancer, right? So it's going to kill off his cancer, and he's going to be a normal guy.
Well, technically, yes. The point is Deadpool might survive it, but considering that he is also, his movie rights are owned by Fox, it's only a question of time until Disney decides to screw him over as well.
I want to see Deadpool comics post the X-Apocalypse. He's just going to be stand-up comedian.
That could be interesting. Of
Like
course,
he's going to lose his superpowers, but the humor stays. So what he's gonna do?
well, if they will make any Deadpool comics, that is.
Yeah, they won't. But
But the worst part is, with Fantastic Four, if Disney ever gets the copyrights for the movies, they can bring them back.
they got
Because-
bored of space and they are back home.
Yeah, but X-Men, they are dead. They are just dead. The entire race wiped out.
They're going to restart
Spider-Man
it.
also died, or they can just reboot that universe. It's not.
Actually, that's one thing. Marvel, unlike DC, who basically reboots every decade, Marvel never rebooted. Every single comic in Marvel since World War II is canon.
Well,
There was never a
in this case, they will have to, or bring somebody extremely powerful to resurrect them all.
Well, yeah, but that's always a cop-out.
It is, but Disney, come on.
Basically,
Or they just didn't really die. They just went into like a sleep or something. They always can have an excuse.
They just pretended they died.
Just like the
It
death
was
of Superman.
It was
They-
all just a
they-
clever ruse.
They just got tired of the discrimination and pretended to die. The entire race pretended to die and went underground.
that's
Yeah.
actually the most insane thing about this whole thing. Because when it's one superhero or one superhero team, okay, you might believe they faked their deaths. But an entire race, superheroes, supervillains, normal people
They
who
died to death.
They decided, you know what, this living thing, it's too mainstream, and they,
Yeah.
Yeah.
oh god.
Well,
Yeah,
that-
but these
I
kind
mean-
of weird shenanigans are not new in the sense that, for instance, Disney sued Disney at one point because one part of Disney was using Mickey Mouse. So Disney was like,
Oh.
hey, yo, Disney, and Disney was like, you all, and they were like,
You
yo,
all,
you
Disney?
can't. You can't use Mickey Mouse. Like, why? Because I own Mickey Mouse. Like, we're Disney, and like, oh, still stop it.
This actually reminds me of how Warner Brothers sued themselves
Yes.
over
yes.
the rights to air Warner Brothers movie trailers.
Exactly, I've read that as well.
That's
It's pretty
amazing.
fucking hilarious. Exactly the same serious situation. Like, hey, Warner Brothers, you can't show that. Like, why? You don't own the rights to. Do you own? Yeah, what? I'm confused.
Hey, Warner Brothers. We are also Warner Brothers.
And then Warner Brothers had an existential crisis.
That's what happens when you have such large corporations. They kind of forget who is which.
Well, legally it does make a lot of sense, but it's still retarded. That's the thing. Like, well, yeah, legally it makes all sense, but still fucking retarded.
Well, yeah, it's big corporations. They do retarded stuff all the time.
Mhm.
Like, Activision. They bought several game studios, including Blizzard. And you know what was the next thing they did? They started a movie studio to make game movies.
Oh, that's a terrifying concept. Why would you ever do that?
Actually, from what I've heard, Overwatch was originally supposed to be a movie, but then they realized they didn't have the finances, so they made the Overwatch game with its microtransactions.
They also realized that movie is one time, 2-time ticket, but a game is all the time ticket.
And it's constantly alluded in the entire fucking game. I mean,
It is.
I haven't played the game, but everything I've seen.
I played the beta, and it's fun. You know how they handle the lore.
It's just like they just sort of drop it mid-game. They're
No,
like,
there's
oh,
none. The entire lore you get in the game is the
Online shorts.
no, in the game. The only bits of lore you get in the game is the banter at the start of the match with your teammates, because some of the heroes say a line when they are next to somebody else. So yeah,
that's such a bad. That's really bad case of tell not show.
that's how Blizzard does lore these days. I mean, it started with World of Warcraft when every time they got some lore left over at the end of an expansion, they made a book. And now it's carried over to other games, and you have all these YouTube shorts. I mean, the new World of Warcraft expansion had like 5 shorts at least, and a book before it. Like what? And Overwatch the same thing. If you want to know anything about lore of Overwatch, you either have to go on YouTube and watch the Blizzard movies, or which don't tell you much, or go to the wiki and read the actual stuff.
Or you can go to the official Overwatch site and read the comics.
I guess I like the wiki more.
I know there are actually guys who refuse to go to the wiki and only insists on getting their lore from the comics and the animated shorts.
Why not? I mean, it's in any case, it's not how it's supposed to be, because that's how games are made today. They're made primarily with multiplayer in mind. You know, there was this age when games didn't really have story because they were too simple to have a story, and it was all centered about pinging the pong in the pong, or beating each other's face in all those 90s fighting games. And
That were the glory.
then there was the time when they actually got some half competent writers, and they start making more complicated games like RPGs and RTSs, and suddenly there were games with stories. And sometimes, if you were lucky and they had the technology, they added multiplayer as a bonus. And then something changed. Maybe somewhere in that time when somebody figured out how to make all the money from the games, and the games started just
Fucking.
they are primarily designed as a multiplayer these days, and story is just some extra that's on the side, which infuriates me to no end. I mean, that's exactly what Blizzard does. They did it with StarCraft 2. Though Wings of Liberty was pretty okay story-wise. The other expansions were not. Then you had Diablo 3, which was terrible in every aspect. And now we have Overwatch, which just to ensure that people won't be angry about lore, doesn't have any lore in the game.
Well, I don't think not having lore is not inherently bad, but if every other game studio makes like these multiplayer games without any lore,
Artrix, it's not inherently bad when you have a new game, a new property. But if you already have a series that's heavy on lore, and you decide to make it multiplayer based, then it's never going to end well.
That's why I still say that they should make a single player campaign for Overwatch.
Yeah, it's like the perfect fit for it.
yeah, that's also the perfect bit of DLC for it. Like,
It's not required because Overwatch is a new property. Do whatever, but what they did with StarCraft 2, which was basically just balance everything, so multiplayer, esports, blah blah blah. Oh, I guess we should throw in a story so we can finally kill off the series. Because that's basically what they did, and the ending was it was the worst thing in games I saw ever. And I'm including the Bubsy 3D game.
But yeah, I do agree that Overwatch is a game that desperately needs lore.
Well, it has lore. It has
Exactly,
tons
but
of
it's
lore.
not
It
being...
has tons of lore, but you have to go and look for it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
If
why-
you don't look,
point.
if you don't look for the lore, then Overwatch is actually no. Even if you count in the lore, it's a Team Fortress clone, because in Team Fortress the lore isn't in the game either. It's narrated through the comics. So yeah, Overwatch is really a Team Fortress clone.
Well, is it in Team Fortress at least a bit alluded in like the design of the levels and whatnot?
No, not really.
Overwatch is
Oh,
like
oh,
as well.
Overwatch is actually what you just said, Artrix, happens in Overwatch more, because you have relevant locations,
Mhm.
and in Team Fortress it's mostly just like whatever. This looks cool, or this is a good map for tactics or something.
Well, I suppose they're well
Yeah.
designed. I've played Team Fortress like a few times, and
Yeah.
At
Yeah,
least
but the
one
thing,
time.
the
I've
thing
never
about
really
Team
got-
Fortress, yeah, the thing about Team Fortress 2 is it is like a factor of, of course, you have to kind of seek it out, but
Yeah,
but it is just so much. You have all those trailers, you have all those comics all the time.
Mhm.
Of course, it doesn't take itself really seriously, which also kind of helps.
Mhm.
But
yeah.
still,
The comic is basically still set in the time when the whatever the
Manco and
yeah, the Mancon was without the right Australian leadership, and the mercenaries were scattered. Yeah, that thing. Even though, if you were to put it into the game, it would not make sense. Because the comics actually started tied into what happened in the game updates, but then we're like, what? We are going to tell a story now. They've been telling it over a few years now, because
To
they just take so long to make the new issues.
To be fair, I don't really think Overwatch, Team Fortress is the kind of game that I could see some kind of lore be implemented as an actual in-game mechanic, since, like you said, it's so heavily built around multiplayer. And you have like the different classes. So now that I think about it, you can probably make some single player missions that rely heavily on each class's specific abilities.
Isn't single player Team Fortress just Half-Life?
Kinda, I suppose, though Team Fortress is heavily class based, so
well, to be fair, Team Fortress 2 kinda gets a free cut because it was originally included in the orange box, which
Yeah.
featured like Half-Life 2 Episode 2 and the two previous ones too, and Half-Life 2 itself and Portal. So basically, it was kind of just like an extra mode for those games,
Well,
because most people
yeah.
originally got it actually for Half-Life 2.
Well, the original Team Fortress was a mod for Half One, and
Yeah.
sort of branch out of that. So yeah, that's one of the cases where you don't really need primarily multiplayer. It has always been. So Overwatch is the same case. Like,
Yeah,
plus
but
they cloned most of the classes from Team Fortress, and then
Yeah.
they cloned some of the classes from all the MOBAs.
Yeah,
But
but
people
the
say
biggest-
it's a new original game.
Yeah. But the biggest difference is Team Fortress 2 wasn't never really a full price game. It wasn't. It was just like
It is true.
a pack-in, or it was just a lower price game.
It was no
Like
price game.
Overwatch is
But there's a reason why I have 456 hours in Team Fortress 2. It was free.
Yeah, it became free at
And
some
it
point too.
It didn't
Yeah, it
activate
came
your
free,
Steam
but
account,
there's
so
a
it was the
fuckload of DLC and in microtransactions and things like that.
Yeah.
yes, but
But it still was.
it's for free
it's
to
not
get
full
it
price,
and
yeah.
play it, Astra. The mode for which you have to pay was introduced later.
Oh, right.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
because it was free, it didn't activate the Steam account, so it was the only thing I could play at the time. Then somebody gave me a key for Dota 2, which activated my Steam account. I played like 3 hours, was like, this game is shit, and uninstalled it. And then I had activated Steam account. It
Nice.
was okay.
Yeah, but the difference, meanwhile, Overwatch is a full price game. Well, you can get it for $40 if you actually really watch out for a hidden link. It's kind of hidden.
On the small text.
Yeah, exactly, on small text. But then they still ask, are you sure that you do not want the $60 version?
Are you sure you don't want to give us all your money?
Are you
Yeah,
sure you don't want
really,
So
that?
really
what's
sure.
the difference between the two? Is there no difference at all?
There's some skins in the $60
Yeah,
version.
just some skins and skins for other
Wow.
games too.
Astras,
Ooh.
it's called the Origins Edition.
Yeah, so basically it kind of ties to the lore that you have, because
so-
Overwatch plays in the future and it features some past versions of
So
character.
basically, if you have a guy who's old, Astra, and you have the Origins
Yeah.
Edition, then you get a skin where he still has color in his hair. Isn't that awesome, Astra?
It is actually quite redundant.
Yeah, but that's the thing. You have a full price game and you have all those microtransactions. Of course, people are defending it because it's always, but you don't have to buy them if you don't want to.
It's not
Yeah.
a free to play, and then it's
It
not
is
even
actually
free to
true.
play.
No, it's not free to play. It's
No.
16 quid.
If you don't like them, then don't buy them.
But that's the thing I did with Overwatch. I just didn't bother. Because everyone was telling me it's basically Team Fortress, but with waifus. And
It's
Uh,
fun though.
Basically, Artrix, I played the beta, played
Yeah.
for 5 days,
Yeah.
and 2 of those days I got bored before the evening was over.
exactly.
Yeah, the
don't
difference
go-
difference with Team Fortress 2 is you have way different loadouts, even for the same class. You have nine classes, but
Yeah,
You
you
have
actually
different
have different
loadouts.
weapons in the game.
yeah,
Not in Overwatch.
and it
Well,
kind of
to
adds
be
some
fair,
dynamics to the characters, because you can't be really sure. Is he? Of course, if you look at him and if you are trained, then you can see it. But at the first glance, you
Yeah.
can't really tell. Does he have this or this weapon?
Yeah, exactly. Is this demo man going to charge your face and kill you with a 9-inch golf club?
Or is he
Or
going to throw a jar of piss at you?
No,
Yeah,
that's a
that-
sniper.
That's
Oh,
not
right.
Or is the demo man going to splash you with grenades without even coming to your line of
finish.
sight?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure,
So
like-
shit like that. Or is that spy not actually dead because he has the watch that makes him not dead?
Actually, one of these tricks is kind of possible in Overwatch, as some players pointed out, because some of the skins for some of the characters make them look from a distance slightly like a different character.
Mm-hmm.
Like Reaper has a skin that makes him, well, it's one of those special edition skins.
Yes, the
That
origins.
physically he no longer looks like Reaper.
He no longer has a giant cardboard skull in his face.
Yeah, and more importantly, he doesn't have a trench coat.
Yeah,
He
he
wears-
looks like a soldier because he used to be a soldier.
Yeah, and so basically from a distance, everyone thinks it's Soldier, and so then they get a nasty surprise.
A shotgun, double shotgun to the face.
Yeah.
Nothing personal, kid.
Nothing personnel, kid.
Classic.
Teleports behind you, shoots you with shotgun. And yes, Artrix, he actually can do that. He can teleport. Just the best thing. Somebody knew exactly what they are doing when they were designing him.
Yeah.
Other than that, it's just Katarina from League of Legends. She can also teleport and shoot people in a circle until then die, except she uses knives. So, changing knives to shotguns and the copyright infringement is gone.
Anyways, I think we had a good run for this episode. So I'm
But
going to.
did we?
Yeah, well, we've been recording for almost 2 hours, so
That's too much. You have to cut off the beginning or the end or the
Yeah.
middle.
well, first you have
Or
to wait for
everything.
the software to stop crashing.
Just randomly cut some parts.
Yay.
Ah, no, it's his life. Well, I guess I just had too much fun drawing one of my many waifus.
Mm.
I mean, yeah, everyone who even knows a little bit about me knows that I'm that I like rarity.
You had too much fun drawing those voluminous
Well, that
purple
reminds me, I
hair.
should still draw Setna 5 at some point, like a proper
Oh, you
drawing.
did.
Well, yeah, but I
Oh.
didn't. That was like on a
this-
tablet.
Artrix,
Oh.
you should draw a simple waifu chart.
I already did. I have like this PSD file that's got
Simpler.
like 50. That's got like a list of 50 odd waifus.
That's a list. We need a
Wi-Fi.
picture. Like draw their faces.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like simple. That's quite the opposite of simple. That sounds
I
like
said-
a lot
No,
of effort.
by simple I meant do a sketch for each one, not render than 3 hours.
Well, yeah.
That
Maybe-
wouldn't be Artrix.
I don't know what it categorizes as in your gallery, probably mid-low effort.
mid, low, mid.
Mid or feed.
Anyways, thank you for watching another retarded episode of the Radio Rothingham, the least professional podcast on the internet. Give us a like and subscribe and favorite and do all that
And
shit.
it's like, and if you're not asleep by this time, then you did something wrong.
Then you did something horribly wrong and should probably rethink your entire life.
I fell asleep last week, so yeah, I did something really wrong.
Also, I'll be, doing another requestathon soon. So keep an eye on my Twitter feed and whatnot for the exact.
It's 2016.
It's still the current year. So in this current year, actually, I'm planning it for October. So it's somewhere in the next 3 weeks. I'll let
Make
you
it
guys
Halloween. What day is Halloween? It's a Monday.
know. No, I'll actually be celebrating Halloween with my family, so I won't be streaming on Halloween.
Halloween.
Yellowing! This
Where's
is
timeline?
Yellowing. Everybody give a scream.
So yeah, that's a thing that's gonna happen. So, and there will also be discounts on commissions if you actually, participate in the requestathon. So if you want discounts, go check it out.
This is
Anyways.
plug-in for commissions.
I'm just shilling the shit out of everything. Shill.
Sell out, sell out, sell out.
Shilling.
Plug, 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 plug.
Feel for your life.
Also, I think I just did the finishing touch on the rarity, so
Hooray!
yeah, the music is fading out and it's gonna end now, and
I was afraid I will have to shill for all the shillings.
Bye.
Yellow.
Blue, green. Did I
I
win?
shielded the shit out of all the shilling in Shillington, shield, and all the shit
No.
puns.
Yes,
No.
yes. Artrix, we should make Radio Rothingham the Origins edition.
Yes.